Mbeumo. At one point we thought, yes, he's already signed for Manchester United. It seemed like it was practically done. Is there confidence? What's the chances of Spurs hijacking this deal also?
Look, for sure there is appreciation from Thomas Frank, and so it's quite obvious to discuss a target like Mbeumo for Tottenham, because he's one of the names they discussed internally as soon as he signed his contract as new Tottenham manager. So it's obvious in football to see these kind of situations, but my understanding is that Man United remain at the moment in control of the situation, in conversation with Brentford, club to club, talking almost on daily basis, trying to find a solution. We know with these clubs like Brentford, Brighton, it's always difficult to negotiate for their top players. So it's not easy to reach an agreement, but Man United are on that. Are talking to the club, always in contact with player agents and with an agreement with Bryan Mbeumo, because the player wants to go to United. And so at the moment, United remain front runners on this story. Let's see if they can be able to reach an agreement on the fee with Brentford.
Mbeumo is reportedly leaning towards a move to Man United now rather than Spurs. United are expected to go back in with another offer for him after having their initial bid worth up to £55 million rejected. Are you surprised that Mbeumo would pick Man United over Spurs, especially with Thomas Frank now at Tottenham? I'm not. I think if Man United come calling,
I am and I'm not, because the simple fact is Manchester United. So you have to. It must be incredibly difficult to go elsewhere, because what might happen is Man United might get back to the levels that we know they have been for many a year, and then all of a sudden, then that's now that opportunity is never going to come again. Do you know what I mean? They're not coming back for you now. Once they get back to where they want to get to, that's it. But then I think Thomas Frank, Spurs just won a trophy. It's all new. It's brand new. You know you're going to play. The manager loves you. He knows. You know exactly how the manager operates. There's no kind of grey area there. So that's shocked me. But ultimately, you have to look at the two clubs. Both of them had horrific seasons last season. One won a trophy, yes, but both teams were in the final. And then you go, okay, what other factors are there? One of them is an absolute juggernaut of a football club, and the other one's a big club, but it's not United.
I know you played for Spurs. And I know you're an Arsenal fan, so try and take both of those hats off for a moment. But if you're him and Man United and Spurs both come in for you, where would you be going?
Right now?
Yeah.
Man United.
Okay. Why? What were you thinking over there?
Because I was thinking that, again, Spurs big club, Solanke's there, but I am thinking, first of all, there's an opportunity there, centre forward, because Rasmus is struggling.
Yeah.
But not only that as well, like, in my head, Man United can't be this bad for that long. Surely at some point it's gonna come back.
Yeah. If Man United get him, Mbeumo goes with Cunha as well. Let's just say, well, how many other players do you think they are?
Still a few.
No, for getting top six, knocking on the door. I think that's Man United's next jump, top six.
Right? You still need goalkeeper, centre back,
half. Is
that it? Holding midfield player maybe.
Well, you got Kobbie Mainoo. I'm not saying that. Hold on, I'm not saying this is another. You got Kobbie Mainoo, you got Agartha, you got Casemiro.
Yeah, but there's no evidence with Kobbie that he's going to get you to where you need to get to.
No, I know, but they're the players that.
Yeah, you need a striker. I think there's so many more pieces you still need.
4,
probably 5, 6. I'd say. I'm not bantering.
No, but 2 have just come in.
Yeah, I mean, who's your right wing back? Mazraoui, decent. Dorgu, young.
He plays on the other side. Yeah.
No, left.
Yeah.
I still think there's so many more pieces.
Okay. Right on to the next rumour out the car boot.
Good run ahead of him. Oh, it's a brilliant goal. Lashed into the bottom right-hand corner. Ekitike's 20th goal of the season.
Yes, we're staying with Man United now because they're reportedly considering a £60 million for Eintracht Frankfurt striker Ekitike. He scored 22 goals in all competitions last season. He's been linked with Chelsea. Do you know much about him?
I don't. Unfortunately, I've not seen him.
That's normal, Brendan, because there's so many players we haven't heard of now that come to the Premier League.
There's a few. You know, obviously, I've got Bundesliga Plus. So.
You still got that from that stick.
No, it's not the stick, mate. It's just Bundesliga Plus.
How much is that month?
$7.99, I think.
$7.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bundesliga Plus. I watch that quite a lot.
Oh, well, that's good.
Ekitike, I do like him. Good player.
Who did you see him against?
What, Frankfurt?
Yeah.
I saw him quite a lot in the Europa League.
Yeah. But if you're watching Bundesliga Plus,
I watched him when against Bayern.
Right.
Yeah, good game.
How did he get on?
I can't remember what the score was, but he played really well.
Yeah, did
but
I'd love someone to tell me he was that injured.
2-0. Doku,
okay. That Man City
mentions there a potential €100 million price tag, David. Manchester United have been linked with him. How would they be able to afford that?
Well, when you speak to the English clubs, they think that perhaps they could prize Ekitike for a bit lower. Seb and the German perspective, understandably, could be different, and it's Eintracht Frankfurt's gift to ask for whatever they like. Maybe if a club got to 80 and some add-ons or whatever, I don't know how they would structure it. But there is some optimism that it's not quite as high ultimately as Eintracht sort of letting it be known, but there is still significant financial commitment when it comes to the player as well, on salary and commissions around it too, and many people asking the same question as you: how would Manchester United finance it? I don't know that they're going for him fully, so I think that's a bit hypothetical. It seems there's been some inquiries, and that's kind of their job, to be asking after players and understanding the conditions of a deal and maybe being interested in the player. But that doesn't mean they're going to do it. Manchester United will be surveying multiple options. We've seen and heard so much about Gyökeres, about Ekitike now, about Delap previously. Look, they managed to get the Cunha deal done. They clearly had some more money than that because they were ready to do the Delap deal. In the absence of Delap, they're ready to do or exploring doing the Bryan Mbeumo deal, and he wants to join them, and there's a very good chance that will happen, but it's not there yet. And then afterwards, the impression you've got is that they'll need to sell. And so based on the success of sales, players such as Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, maybe a departure for Rasmus Højlund, whether it be loan or permanent, which would also free up squad space as well for a striker to come in. Tyrell Malacia, Anthony, etc. Suddenly you find yourself in a very different financial world than you are now. So I can. We're talking hypothetically here. I can understand the concern about what Manchester United's finances are looking like right now and whether they would be able to fund a player like Ekitike now. But it might not be now that we're dealing with this sort of question. It might be further down the line as the summer progresses. They have the resources as a result of a number of sales, and they can push the boat out to pay a lot of money for a transfer fee, salary, commissions for such a striker. It doesn't mean that he will pick Manchester United if that happens, because we've seen that the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool are among the many admirers for Hugo Ekitike. There's no obligation for Eintracht Frankfurt to sell at all, as Seb explains a lot better than me, and so it is part of Manchester United's due diligence on that position, I'm sure, but I'm not aware of a striker being sort of the next one through the door at Manchester United. I think that is more likely to be Bryan Mbeumo if they can strike that deal, and the striker situation will be addressed subsequently, no doubt.
All right, so lots of clubs interested then, Seb. Is there any indication from the player as to A, if he's going to push for this move, and B, if he has a preference of destination if he does?
No, there's no suggestion that he's going to become militant or flounce out. Not at all. I think he has great respect for what he's been able to do at Eintracht and what they've been able to do for him. I think also, further to David's point, the clubs that were solid options have kind of been long-term options. That would probably be Chelsea and Liverpool, even though there's been no bid for him yet. There's no sort of significant club-to-club progress. The Manchester United thing, we're saying that, yes, as reported, Hugo Ekitike did grow up as a Manchester United fan. I don't think that's really a signpost to what he will do next. But their check with Eintracht about 10 days ago was exactly that, a check, a remaining cognizant of what's happening in the market, what a player's situation is, rather than a kind of determination to get anything done. So I don't think it's reached a stage where he has those options in front of him. I know that Chelsea and Liverpool will both be attractive, but I think we've got a way to go, especially with that asking price and Eintracht's position on this deal. We've got a way to go until we know what he's going to actually want to do, because there aren't true options available yet.
So according to top journalists, Manchester United are still in the race for Bryan Mbeumo, and the player himself wants to come to Manchester United as he's giving his priority to Manchester United. And according to reports, Jason Wickles and those in charge of negotiating deals for Manchester United are currently working hard to get the deal off, because Amorim himself wants the player. And I believe with time the deal is going to go through, because Manchester United are trying to raise the second bid, and I'm sure it will be a very whooping sum of at least £65 million. and I believe Brentford won't reject the deal. Let's see what happens, guys. Thanks for watching.